Hello everybody, what we'll look at today is how to create a scale model of your room in SketchUp. So go to sketchup.com/app. All you need is Google Chrome for this and an internet connection. If you haven't already, you will need to sign in or create an account on SketchUp. Check your school email address for the activation email and then you can get going. Now, what you see here is I haven't added color to this yet, but this is a scale model of my bedroom at home. So I've done this project before. I've set it for you guys. So this is a perfectly measured out one-to-one scale model of my room. So there's my bed, there's my bedside table, there's my wife's bedside table up there. We have an odd sort of multi-griddy shelf unit thing that's full of all sorts of boxes in real life. On top of that, my wife has her mirror. Next to that, there's a laundry basket, and then we have in here in real life we have DVDs and the telly on the top there. We have a built-in wardrobe which sticks out into the corner of the room, window, and then on the bedside tables we have lamps like that. Now, obviously this is a sort of a simplified version of the room. There's none of the sort of little tiny details of what's in each of these cupboards and things. The bed is simply just 1, 2, 3 sort of rectangular shapes stacked on top of each other, but everything is the correct size, everything is the correct proportion, everything is in the correct position within the room, and it's the correct distance away from the other objects in the room. So this is very, very accurate. What I'll do is I'll go through part of the way of making one of these. I'll make another one over here. I'm just going to sort of invent one off out of my imagination, but you of course will need to use your plan view with all your notes written onto it, your dimension notes written onto it. So if I want to make a room up, the first thing I'm going to do, choose my rectangle tool. I'll make sure I'm drawing a blue rectangle, and I'll go with a shape. So shall we go for one which is, let's go for 6,000 millimeters, which is 6 meters by 6,000 millimeters, like that. So this is quite a big room. There we go. There's my 6,000 by 6,000 millimeters room. Next thing I'm going to do is add in some walls. So I'm going to go and choose my push-pull tool and change that to my offset tool. What I then do is I click and I drag out. Now let's say that my walls are 200 millimeters thick. So I type in 200, press enter, and that makes me some 200 millimeter thick walls through the middle there. Next thing I'm going to do is use my push-pull tool. So again, I change back to my push-pull tool, and I'm going to drag those walls up. So I'm going to go for about, let's go 2,600, 2.6 meters tall. There we go. So there we are, slightly taller than my room as well. So there's the walls of the room. Very, very. I've done obviously a very basic room, but there's a bit of a problem. We can't get into the room at the moment. So how do we sort that out? So we take the pencil tool, and from the corner here, I'm going to imagine that mine was 1 meter away from the side here. So I'm going to type in 1,000. I'll find that endpoint I've just drawn, and I'll go up to, let's go for 2,000. And I'll go across another 1,000. Your door obviously is likely to be a different shape, and I'm going to go down 2,000 to there. So there's my door. If I use the push-pull tool, hover over the door, push forwards until I get to this point, and you see it says that I'm on the face. I can click, and that will remove the door. Now we're not going to worry about putting any sort of door in there. We're going to use this as a bit of an area to look through realistically. So there we go. I'll do the same over here with a window. So I'll put a window into this side of the room. Get my pencil tool. I will let's go for 1,500 meters this time. Puts me about there. Yep, and then we'll go up on the blue axis. Let's go up a meter, 1,000, and then I'll go across. Make it a nice big broad window. So I'll go across 3,000. Okay, 3 meters, and I'll go up one. No, wait. Yeah, I'll go up one meter. 1,000. There we go. And across, that will realise where it's meant to be. And across there, I'll use my eraser tool to get rid of that bit, which I don't need. And then again, my push-pull tool. Hover over that area. Don't drag it out. That's no good. Push it in until it says on face and click, and that removes the wall there. So I've got a bit of a view inside my room there. So what shall I put into this building? So I'll put a bookcase in here in the first place. So I'll use my pencil tool again, and I will draw out how big should we make this bookcase? Let's make it it's a bookcase, so it's not going to be massively wide, is it? Let's go 600 millimeters. There we go, 600. And I'll come along here and we'll go 2,500. So it's very, very wide bookcase. I'll go back to there. That should be 600, which it is, and that puts me by the side of the building. I'll just drag that up, and we'll say that this is 1,500. Oops, 15,000. 1,500 millimeters tall. There we go. So that's the basic shape of my bookcase in the corner of my imaginary room. But obviously at the moment it doesn't particularly look anything like a bookcase apart from just in shape. So I'm going to take the pencil tool here. I'm going to do this in a really easy way. Your furniture might differ. I'm going to just put some lines across here for all the midpoints, like that. And I'm going to use my offset tool again, this one. I'm going to drag this in. I'm going to say that my shelves are, let's say, 15 millimeters. So I'm dragging in, I'm typing in 15, I'm pressing enter. And it repeats the process over and over again. 15, enter. Now I've got to zoom carefully in, and I've got to click these lines in the middle that I don't need anymore. Okay, got one more to go. Zooming in, click, come back out, and this is now ready to go to the push-pull tool again. I'm going to press escape because I want something else. Okay, and I'm going to push this in. Now, if I was to push it right back to this wall, that would make it sort of disappear. So that's no good at all. So I want to go back. What did I go? I went 600 before, so I'll go 590. So I'm typing in 590, enter. And what that does is it takes it back 590 millimeters. 590, enter. 590, enter, and once more 590, enter. There we go. So there's my my bookcase in position. Zooming out a little bit. There we go. So there's my bookcase in position. That's one of the types of furniture I suppose you could do. It's a very basic looking bookcase, but there you go. Now what I'm going to do is produce a little lamp that will go on top there, like a bedside lamp. Now that is 600, so we're going to want a maximum of 600. So to do that, I'm actually going to come over to a space in here, just a random space, and I'm going to draw up on the blue axis 1,000. Like that, and across on the green axis 1,000, like that, down on the blue axis 1,000, and across. What I've done there is I've created myself a little sort of almost like a big piece of paper standing up vertically. What I'm going to do is draw myself a profile of this lamp that I want. So I'm going to start off here. I'm going to come in 100 millimeters, like that. Give me an endpoint. I'm going to come down. That's on red axis, so that's no good. So we need to come down on blue axis. I'm going to come down 450. I'm just making these measurements up. Yours might be different, of course. I'm going to go across 450. I'm going to go back up to there. What I think I will do next is I will draw from here downwards on the blue axis. I'll go down 100 and across, let's go 50 and up again 100. And then I'm going to use the 2-point arc here from there directly down to there. I'm going to pull this out on the green axis until it gets to a half circle. There we go. I'm then going to connect up those lines like that. I'm going to use my eraser tool to get rid of that, get rid of that one, get rid of that one, get rid of that one. Just going to move this so I don't accidentally delete something important. That, and that. So what I've left myself with there is a couple of what's called profiles. I think I might just cut the top off this by coming down 100 millimeters, because otherwise it's going to look too pointy. Across to there and across there. There we go. Okay, right. The next thing I need to do in order to turn this into a 3D object, so at the minute it's still 2D, and that's so it's not accurate enough at the moment. I'm going to change the square tool to a circle tool. And on the bottom of this, make sure that I'm drawing a blue axis circle. I'm going to draw this out, so it's almost as if it's sitting on a circle. So then I will change my push pull tool to my push pull tool to my follow me tool, and I'm going to hover it over first of all the base of the lamp here. So I click on that base of the lamp, and I move this out to the outer ring, and I spin that around, and I get to a decent point, which is about, whoops, too far there. I click, and that makes me a round shape like this. I'm going to repeat that process here. Click on the lampshade part, drag it around. It can get a little bit fiddly this, so just take your time, drag it around, and eventually that will get to there. And there we have the lamp. I'll use the eraser tool to get rid of the circle, and we're left with a lamp. Next thing to do, use the mouse tool and drag a net all the way around there, and press Ctrl and G. No, don't press Ctrl and G, that's a different program. Right click and say make group. That will keep all of these bits together so that when you're dragging it around places you won't lose it. I'm then going to get the move tool, which is this one. I'm going to click on the corner of the group here, zoom out a little bit, zoom back in, and I'm going to put this in position. Oh, it's a little bit too big. I'll put it in there anyway. Does it clip through? No, it doesn't. No, it's perching on the edge of the thing. That I might just make that smaller. So I'm going to this one, scale my shape downwards. I use this one and I can bring it in. I'm going to give it a scale of 0.75 like that. There we go. Click off that, and there's our lamp sitting on top of our bookcase. Now, obviously, you can go to great lengths to fill up your room with all the different parts and features that you have. When you get to the point where you're finished, you'll want to make it look a little bit more realistic, a little bit more grey. You go over to this side, and here's the materials, and you can go to search. This will get you all types of materials. Now, as you've drawn this accurately, in an accurate scale, these materials will work. To be honest, I prefer just to use simple colours. It usually works a little bit easier just using simple colours. So what you've got to remember is, if I can get my colour in there, there we go. So that's added colour to, but when I spin it round, these parts haven't had colour added to them. So just make sure that this is fully completed. But there we go. Oops, there we go. There's a oops, really getting out of this. There's a red bookcase in there. I'll change what colour should we have for our lamp. There we go. A blue lamp, lovely. There we are. So that is the basics for you. Hopefully you can see how that creates accurate models. Obviously on my plan I'd have the measurements to the other features in here, and you can build up a nice accurate model within SketchUp. When you're finished, make sure that you've pressed save up here, give it a decent title, press save, it will tell you it's saving, and then that will be done. Okay, thanks very much.